after the trade, you mentioned that right up until the end, you didn't think you would get traded. So I'm sure now that you've had a little time to kind of reflect, how do you look back on the entire whirlwind year and a half here from the expectations at the beginning and ultimately how it ended?
Yeah, I reflect on my time. I loved my time here with the Mets. I loved getting to play for Buck. Loved all the guys that were in the clubhouse. I really felt like we had a great group to be able to win. Unfortunately, we just didn't get those type of results, and that's what's frustrating. That's what always leaves a salty taste in your mouth about it. But at the end of the day, I loved my time here. It was a great group in the clubhouse, and definitely enjoyed my time here.
Max, even though this is the business, you kind of set down roots here. You bought that house.
Mm-hmm.
You came here, Steve. You discussed what your
Yep.
goals were. How difficult was it?
It was tough, but I honestly appreciate Billy and Steve's honesty in this, and I understand the business of the game. I get it. I get people upstairs have to make really tough decisions, and at the end of the day, they're trying to win a World Series as well. And sometimes the difference between an ownership and a player, especially where I'm at in my career, where my age is at. I don't have time to wait around. But I get that what they're doing with this organization, they have the right thought process behind it. And Steve's a great owner about trying to make this a winner here in New York. So I definitely am happy to join it. Happy to have contribute to it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be here when for the great moments of it. But they're doing the right things to be able to build a championship ball club in the future. Those decisions had to be made, and when I had the conversations with them, they were honest and allowed me to make an honest decision as well.
When you first heard that, how surprised were you? Because I know you were surprised at the Robertson trade when that happened. How surprising that was the direction they chose?
It's the business of baseball. I get it. Like it's not. Like I don't take it as any sign. It was just a decision that Steve had to make, and that was a decision that he made. And there's decisions around that. Like I said, I'm very thankful that he was honest like that, and that we didn't have to have any other type of discussions. It was very straightforward, and very appreciative from both sides of of my time here and what decisions we had to be made.
After your last start here, and you wanted to have that conversation with
Yeah.
them, did you have an inkling then that their plan was their plan?
No, I couldn't share everything that was going on.
Right.
I was getting text messages from other guys across the league asking me, "Hey, are you going to waive your no trade clause?" I couldn't come out in the media and say that. That's why I said I need to talk to the brass. Like, what is going on? That I was hearing from multiple guys across multiple teams. Am I going to waive my no trade clause? I didn't think I was going to get traded, so I knew something was going on, something was up. And so that's why I like get to the bottom of this, because the kind of common consensus in the clubhouse at that time was you understood if the team was going to sell off the 23 free agents, but try to reload it for 2024. So that's when it became apparent that that was not the direction.
How soon after you made that start and we talked to you, did you talk to Steve and Billy?
Oh man, it's a blur now. I think maybe like a loose conversation on that, but it was really the next day. I think the next day is that's when things were okay. We're talking, and our words mean everything right now, and big boy decisions were being made, and that's when there was no wiggle room. Like what's being said is final, and that's what happened.
Max, you're putting in a no trade clause. The reason is so that you can control the process and make the decision as you best see fit for you and your family. Was there any, conversation or moment even after you had those talks where you thought about just invoking it and staying put?
It was more, pump the brakes. If it was more that if 2024 was, we were really going to try to win in 2024, like pump the brakes. You don't have to go try to win a World Series in 2023. Like we were settled here, we liked it here, we enjoyed our time here. We thought we had a great organization. It was kind of pump, make sure, we're trying to win in 2024, and that's what I was really trying to use the no trade clause for. I wouldn't have done it then. After that, then it was the direction of which team I wanted to go to, and that's when I thought Texas was going to be the best fit for me. So that's how I kind of used the no trade clause.
Why did you think Texas was the best fit?
Best fit in terms of we're a team that's able to be young enough to be able to win, and for 2024, and still have my family close to Florida as well.
Based on what you heard about their plans for 2024, would you be surprised if they did now go out and get some more free agents?
I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that.
You mentioned that you enjoyed your time here and you enjoyed the clubhouse.
Yeah.
One of the narratives that came out after all these trades was that this clubhouse is somewhat toxic. Have you seen anything at all about that?
No, it was not at all. We actually had a great clubhouse. We had great veterans in our clubhouse, everybody included. That's definitely not the reason why we lost. We were a tight-knit group, had a lot of fun together. All this stuff with Ver and I, Ver and I are actually on a better page now than we were when we started the season. So we're much better off than we've ever been. So, that was an anonymous quote. You never know the context of that, so I don't even want to speculate on it.
How so are you guys better off, or in a better spot? Or
We just are. We're just in a better spot. That's the best way to say it.
Max, we asked you guys all year, why isn't it working out? You had a few weeks now removed from being the best. Why do you think, when you look back now, not the same team as last year, but a lot of
Yeah.
guys, why was this year such a grind, whereas last year you guys had so much success?
I don't know. That's a $1 billion question, because if you could answer that question, I think everybody would want to tell you how you actually win here at the major league level. I don't know. It was just a combination of everything. It just seemed like when we pitched, we didn't hit. If we hit, we didn't pitch. And if we did both, then maybe the bullpen didn't do a job. It was just like a combination of everything, of things just not going right. Everybody, could probably look at themselves in the mirror and say they could have done better. I know specifically myself this year, I wish I would have pitched better. So I don't like to point fingers unless I'm pointing fingers at myself, and I definitely can point the finger at myself. That's what leaves everybody, kind of with a, dumbfounding feeling is, you could never put one finger on any one given thing.
How disappointed were you when you heard that they were not necessarily playing to compete for a title in 24? Because most of the same guys still the team. Were you disappointed that they didn't say, maybe this is just a one-year one-off, give it a shot again next year?
Yeah, that was our wishful thinking. That was kind of what we wanted. That was what the players, what we wanted to hear. Kind of the direction that we thought. That's what we were hoping for. That's kind of how our minds were. That all right, we still believe that we could still find a way to get back into the 23 playoff race. We didn't think we were out of it. I mean, I get where our record was and where we're at in the standings and how we were playing. I'm not oblivious, but in that clubhouse, we absolutely believe we had a team that could win and we could compete with anybody in the big leagues. We just didn't have a good first half, and maybe we could catch fire in the second half. That was our belief. That never changed. Even when things were going south, we weren't playing good baseball. We still had that belief as a collective whole. We had great leadership to hold that kind of line. When you do hear that 23, that they're going to pull the plug on 23, yeah, that's disappointing. But like I said, the common viewpoint amongst all of us players was that, okay, let's go forward in 2024. We got the talent here to do it, and it became obvious that wasn't the direction.
What was your reaction when you heard Steven Strasburg is announcing his retirement next week?
Yeah, a lot of feelings there because of how good he's, how great of a pitcher he is, and you only want health for him so he can go out there and pitch. But obviously his body's not cooperating. It just sounds like he pitching has really taken a toll on his body. He's just not able to get his body in the right spot to be able to go out there and compete anymore. For him to make that decision, that's got to be one of the toughest decisions of anybody's life. I love pitching with them. The things that we were able to accomplish, win that World Series together with that team in 19, that'll always be one of my highlights of my life. And hugging them there in the clubhouse at the end, there's nothing like that type of feeling. So for him to have to retire, wish him nothing but the best.
What impressed you the most about him?
He was a hard, diligent worker. He really, for all the, kind of naysayers I always want to call him an injury risk, no, he worked his butt off to put himself in a position to be out there. His body just didn't cooperate, it seemed like, to be able to be out there consistently. And so that's what's always, you always wanted more, but it wasn't from him personally. I grew a great deal of respect for how hard he worked, and that's what I always remember.
As it played out in the press, it seemed like there was a deal with Texas, and then you agreed like an hour later. How was it really? I mean, maybe there was a deal earlier than that, and was it?
There was just small stuff going on.
Okay. Was it a good push and pull between the convenient? I mean, the Mets were more convenient, the competitive.
There's just some other stuff that was going on. There was just small stuff that you just contractually had to get through.
What's the prospect of pitching with Jake again, possibly next year, look like for you?
Yeah, that's exciting. Obviously this is a great team to be playing with in 2023, and then obviously in 2024, Jake will be back at some point. So, I've seen what he can do. I've had to compete against him all those years. It's fun competing against him, and got to pitch with him for a year. I just know how great he can be when he's out there. So he definitely makes your ball go better when he pitches.
How much interaction have you had with Jake since he got back there?
He's been in clubhouse a lot here at home, and so. Yeah, he's in good spirits about it. He seems very comfortable here in Texas, and I just know him. I know how to mess with him and get underneath the skin, and there's inside jokes that get him, and day one it starts.
Max, it's a little bit of a tough stretch for the Rangers recently, but what do you see from this team going forward that encourages you to finish this out?
Yeah, I got traded over. I thought I've never seen a team higher and high. We won 8 games. We were really beating people apart, and then all of a sudden we went through an 8-game losing streak, and we were getting beaten apart. And that's just kind of baseball. You're never as high as you think you are, never as low as you think you are, and we're now at a point where all right, let's see who we really are. Now we need to go out there for the next 10 games and really play good baseball. We're in a division race, and that's fun. So this is a good team. Got to continue to play great baseball.
You had a pretty close relationship with Steve Cohen. What maybe impressed you, or what will you take away from that?
You can tell he's very smart. He understands what he's doing, understands risk. His background of being in financial markets and then weighing risks and probabilities and all this. Well, that's kind of like pitching too. So there's some overlays there. He has a good mind on his of what he sees with baseball. Just buying a team, he understands the game and sees, he asks the right questions and has the right comments. So, very impressive for an owner to be as smart as he is.
Max, you've obviously been with the highs when you first got in and now the lows recently, but what have you seen from this team that makes you think they have what it takes to get to the playoffs and to make this push in the last one?
Yeah, there's never one, obviously, there's never one formula where you can say at any given point in time where you just know it. I mean, like I said, that I was on the other side here, and we had that belief, and obviously it didn't work out. If I knew what that exact formula was, it'd be worth a lot of money. Obviously this is a great ball club. Here with Texas, a lot of good young players that are contributing. Pre-art players are contributing, and obviously we got a bunch of some veterans here as well. It's just going to take the right mix and get hot at the end. I mean, you got to be hot in October. You can't be cold in October and win the World Series. That's just never going to happen. You got to get hot at the end. So, our best baseball has to be in front of us.
Cold in August is okay.
You guys are having to push through right now?
What?
What is it that you guys are having to push through right now? What does this team have to
This is Major League Baseball. Everybody's talented. Every team, there is no off night. Everybody can beat everybody. This is the grind of the season. I feel like trade deadline, give everybody a jolt, and then you come down from that withdrawal. Now you got to see who you really are. I mean, this is just a chance for everybody to go out there and show who you actually are. You got to go out there, and these are the big games, these are the big moments, and you got to rise up to it.
Max, you've said you've been through